All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings, everyone. Oh, the wind is
So
so bad.
they're so bad and strong.
It's very strong. So yeah, let's continue. Let's start. Sorry, let's start. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Weekend English Talk, where we invite and exchange stories with people. But first, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Zikram Mufidatovid. I'm a 10th grader software engineering student from IDN boarding school.
And I'm Jagad Alif Khatulistiwa. I am also a 10th grader network engineering student from IDN boarding school, Bogor.
And today's Weekend Talk will be hosted by us. Therefore, today's guest will be a professional telecom consultant
That's right.
who has experience working for large companies and has performed a lot of works outside of Indonesia. His name is Agus Iswanto. So, Mr. Agus Iswanto, please enter.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning, Mr.
How are you, Mr.? And how's your day, Mr.?
I'm great. It's just a great day. I just finished. Take took my kids around to the zoo,
Yes,
and
Oh,
it will be great today.
it's like a vacation in this day, right?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I haven't done
Yeah.
any vacation recently.
Yeah, we already do some running around.
Oh yeah, but
Yes,
not to the zoo. I want to
not
go to the zoo. I
I want
haven't.
to go to the zoo again.
Yeah.
My family also.
Last time I gone to the zoo, it was like 5 years ago, maybe.
Yes, maybe yes.
A long time ago.
As a child.
Yeah,
so,
it's really fun.
Mr.
So, Mr.
Mr.
Agus
Agus
Iswanto,
Iswanto.
sorry, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Agus Iswanto, but today you can call me Wawan to get along with me during this English talk today. I live in Depok. Yeah, I native Semarang people, Semarangese, uh, but already moved to Jakarta around 10 years ago.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So you live in Jakarta now? Is that right?
I not actually in Jakarta, is a side of Jakarta, is in Depok.
Oh, in Depok.
Okay.
Okay.
Near, right? Near, not that far. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Depok. Depok is pretty far from here, right?
Pretty far.
Yeah.
Not that far.
Not that far,
Not that
but
far, but far.
far. How long does it take
How
to
long does
go there from here? What do
I
you
think around 2 until 3 hours. I
Oh,
think.
oh, that's not that long
Yeah.
actually.
Long, but
Yeah, still long.
okay.
So yeah, we actually have a couple of questions for you,
Yes.
Mr. Agus, Mr. Wawan. Is that right?
Hmm.
Yeah. You can call me Wawan.
Okay.
Okay, Mr.
So, can you explain what you do on your job? Because
Yes.
we heard that you're a telecom consultant, professional telecommunications consultant. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Correct. So, because I'm not a network engineer student, but
But
Jagat
as-
is.
I'm as a network engineer student. I'm very excited when see your LinkedIn, and it's very interesting for me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because I'm a software engineering student, I don't really know anything about networking. So, can you explain explain a bit about your job? Explain a bit about the things that you do for your job.
Yeah. Currently, I work as network planning and optimization engineering. Yeah, as a technical expert pool for Asia Pacific and Japan
Wow.
for Nokia networks.
Oh,
Okay.
wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing! Wow,
Yes.
Nokia.
It's amazing.
most likely I do some planning and optimization for the mobile networks. In Indonesia, we can say like an Indosat or Excel Asiata or Telkomsel, some kind of the mobile network.
Okay. As a mobile network.
Wow, that's pretty amazing
It's
to be
very
honest.
amazing. Very amazing, I think.
Yeah.
And And Mr. Agus Iswanto, I have maybe a couple of more about question to you, Mr. And Mr. Agus Iswanto, can you explain more complex and detailedly about your occupation or majority as a network professional consultant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, most what I do during my daily work is about to maintaining the mobile networks. Yeah. For example, at this moment, I work for TPG Australia for the 5G networks. So we did some kind of optimizations, and then if there is new feature that can give benefit to the subscriber or increase the performance of the network, then we did some trial and then tune the feature, I mean tune the performance, and then we did a rollout for all the networks in nationwide. So
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a bit challenging to find to tune, especially in the mobile network. We need to tune some part and then to get some benefit for the subscriber.
whoa.
It's very
Oh, that's
special,
interesting. It was very
a
special.
special explanation from you, Mr. And maybe for me, gain from Miguel and as a network engineer student, I will ask you what's your first impression when you start your jobs in the first day on a big company?
So
I
like,
want to hear
Uh,
your
yeah,
experience.
it's 17 year back. I just
oh,
started working in telecommunications industry 2005. Yeah, and that once that was with uh, Dian Graha Elektrika Indonesia. And
Mhm.
in the first day, I joined because previously I stay in Semarang and then I moved to Jakarta for my first job. Then it will be quite challenging for me because from the not really big city, but move to the capital of Indonesia. So first, you might, I mean, like frightened because it's a big city, of course, excited because I got a new job, uh, and sometime I just enjoy my life, move to bigger city.
Okay, this
oh,
was amazing experience. I
yes.
because I as a network engineer student, I have a dream too for study or work abroad. Okay,
Bro.
abroad.
Yeah. So Jagat really wants to work outside of Indonesia,
Yeah,
Yeah, just like
Oh,
me,
it's
because
great, great, yeah.
because
my goals. I want to learn on Australia. That's my
was
goals.
Wow. Yeah, at this moment, Australia need a lot of engineer. At this moment, they hire quite a lot engineer. Yeah, especially about the telecommunication engineer and then the network engineers.
I think that lucky day for me.
Yeah.
yeah. So I have some couple of questions from me. Can you tell us about your experience working with big companies like Nokia or something like that? Just like you said before.
Yeah. Actually, for my work journey, I start with the Tian Graha. Tian Graha is a partner of Siemens last time, but the
Oh,
Siemens in 2005, and first I work as a transmission network engineer. So transmission network engineer is about we plan the transmission networks, right?
mm,
Before I mean, to connect between the network elements from one node to another node, we need a transmissions. So at that time, I worked for Indosat project. So we maintain a transmission network for Indosat in
Mm.
Sumatra.
oh,
So it's around 6,000, 5,000 to 6,000 node that we maintained last time. So it was quite challenging because Sumatra area most likely is hilly and tropical forest, right? It is bit difficult to
Yes.
Mm,
connect
oh, yeah,
another
yeah.
side to another side because it's blocked by mountain or by blocked by hill.
I
So
feel
it will be quite challenging to create connection between node to node. Then
Oh,
yeah, I moved 2007. I moved to Central Java to handle not in transmission network anymore, but it's more radio access network.
okay.
Network, yeah, radio access network as an network planning and optimizations. We maintain like 2G networks, 3G network, 2G network at that time for the Central
mm,
Java. Then
oh,
move back to Jakarta, move back to Jakarta.
Yeah.
Then we maintain like 3G networks, and then more the because the radio, the cellular network is quite changed rapidly. 2G network, 3G network, 4G networks you have now, and then
Yeah.
coming soon might be 5G network coming to Indonesia.
Okay.
oh, okay.
Mr. Agus, I have one question,
Mm.
and Mr. Uh, what what are you have some prediction? 5G networks are coming to Indonesia.
Yes,
When?
yes, yes.
Prediction.
When is it going to be in Indonesia?
Yes.
In Indonesia, actually, is already initiated
Mm,
by the operators, but there is some two kind of type of 5G. How do we deploy 5G? We have non-standalone and standalone. But at this moment, actually, some operator already did some initial trial or initial deployment. It just deploy in the big city like such as Jakarta, Surabaya, Medan, or even Bali, where we have a G20 summit at this moment.
Yes.
oh,
I think they already deployed the 5G networks.
mm,
Okay. I have some fine. Like I got it. Like Indonesia have 5G, but only a big city.
yeah, on
Okay,
big
in a
cities.
big city. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it.
I really can't wait for 5G to come to Bekasi because I live in Bekasi, you know.
Yeah, it might be 2 years later or 3 years later. It will
Yeah, that's
cover
fine.
Bekasi. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I have a question. I've heard a lot about 5G, you know, and
Mhm.
YouTube's or some other social media. Uh, so 5G is faster, is it? Is it right? Is that right?
Yes, correct, correct, correct.
Does that mean that if it is faster, does it mean we get more like megabits per second or something like that, or other things like that? Because I don't know anything about networking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the requirements of the 5G is about 10 times the L4G speed. So,
Mm,
Oh,
yeah, it's the requirements of the 5G. mm, f-
5G.
5G network, yeah. So you will get more speed compared to current 4G, yeah. So that's why in 5G, in terms of the mobile broadband, we can say mobile broadband, they will offer more speed compared to 4G. But
Okay.
in 5G, it's also accommodate IoT. I think networking you learn IoT as well, right? Uh,
yes.
Uh,
yeah, IoT when you did some kind, yeah. IoT in the future will be quite a lot. It will be as
sure.
considered like a new nodes, but the number it will be huge. Like for
Mm,
example, when we deploy IoT, for example, from the automatic charging, like in the bus or
Yeah.
or or smart city, you need a lot of IoT there. So
mm,
5G will support this kind of ecosystem.
oh,
Oh,
that's
man.
amazing, man.
I think I get
Yeah,
more
yeah.
knowledge.
Yes, yes.
I think
Uh,
it's been great for you guys when you learn IoT as well. I think
Mhm.
IDN you have IoT subject, right? Then
Yeah.
Yes.
that learn about the IoT. I think that one it will be really interesting in the future when the 5G is fully deployed.
Oh,
Ooh, yes,
I
yes.
think
Mm.
the IFT student now in our school will be rich in the future.
Yeah.
I think it's very good knowledge and if good information that I never heard before.
Mm.
And maybe I have a question. Okay. And I heard you study on Pancasila University. So can you tell us your experience when you still on college? So I can get more. I can hear more experience from you.
Yeah, it was quite interesting and challenging. I take my bachelor degree while I'm working. So I work, and then during I already have in during weekdays I worked in my company, and then during the weekend I took my bachelor degree. So
Yes.
yeah, it's quite challenging for me last time. So if you are from, I was in from vocational school as well, actually.
Oh,
So I was from vocational school, and then I took the diploma degree in polytechnics. But after
Okay.
I graduate from the polytechnic, then I just apply for some job, and I got my job in Jakarta. Then while I'm working during weekdays, I took my bachelor degree during the weekend. So 7 times 24 hours, 5 days for working, 2 days for studying.
Okay. It's very
Mm.
hard.
damn, that's very hard.
Yes, damn, it's
But
very hard.
but
Hmm?
but I think
Okay.
it's not really hard actually when you already take a work. I mean, you already take a job. I mean, so while you are working, you already work in some company, yeah, in the
Mhm.
company, and then you take some study for the bachelor, or yeah, for bachelor degree or the post degree, something like that. Then you can actually it bring you benefits during your study. For example,
Oh,
if you are a vocational school, and then after you graduate, you get a job, and then
Yes.
mhm.
you want to continue your study into bachelor degree, it will
Yes.
be easier for you. Why? Because first, you already learns in technical details compared to just study like a textbook, something like that. Yeah. So you already gain the experience, the actual, yeah, you already got the experience learning. And then when you did some final project, it will be easier for you. You just take kind of your daily work, and then create your final projects, and then present to your lecturers, and you got your bachelor degree.
Okay.
So it may sound hard,
Yes, it may sound
but
hard, but it's
it's
easier than
actually
we think.
yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
easier than we think.
Yes. I think that a very good information for us because
Yes,
as a vocational high school, we need to know more about information and outside
yeah. So we
because
can know our future, you know.
yes, we can
Yeah.
prediction more our future right now. Or
Yes.
Mm.
So I actually have some more question.
Mm.
I've seen your LinkedIn profile, and it looks like the background of your profile picture is a sakura tree. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, it's right. It was
So
in Taiwan, Taipei,
I'm sorry.
Taipei. It
Oh,
was
Taipei.
when I worked in Taipei,
Oh,
oh,
Taiwan.
can you share about your experience in Taipei?
Yeah, last time I worked as a techno consultant in for Taiwan Star Telecom. Yeah, in
Oh,
Taipei. Yeah, it was almost around 1 year. Yeah,
mhm.
mm,
and then I also did because they start to deploying the LTE, the 4G, and they
Mm.
hire a lot of consultants to support the project. And at that time, I saw some vacant in the in internet, and then I just apply for that one, and and I think the the user is already the user uh, quite I mean the user is okay with me, and then they start to hire me and invite me to join in Taiwan project.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
this
amazing.
thing's
So
great.
that's in Taipei, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
So can you share us some more experience working not in Taipei, some other countries besides Taipei?
yes.
yeah, I think it's almost all the same. Yeah, I mean when you want to I was support in some project in Singapore, yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
for
Singapore.
mobile, yeah, M1 Telecom, and then LGU Plus in Korea on site. But some project I support remotely, like SoftBank Japan and now TPG Australia. But
mm,
if you have a plan to go abroad for to get, I mean, work abroad, I think you need to do some preparations for this one.
Yes. I think I have a question about what you say before. I think you said uh, you must to have preparation for going abroad. And my
Yeah.
question is, what kind of preparation do you want for
Yeah,
abroad?
it's yeah, I think it will be interesting for you to prepare yourself for your future, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to share my experience related to working abroad. First, you need to prepare. I think first is about the competence level. Yeah,
okay.
competence and your skill. You need to prepare related to your skill and competence. You need to prepare it based on your interest or your competence. More specific your competence, it will be easier to find a job. For
mm,
example, if you are network engineering, then you need to have several competence, right? You
Yeah,
like, for example, you can get like Cisco CCNA certifications, and then what else? The Cisco, I think the Cisco certification, something
mm,
yes,
CCIP or another Juniper or another certification. It will be quite good profile, and the user will be much more interest with you for this one. Once you get the skill and competence, I think it's uh, it's easier to find a job. But the skill and competence related to the hard skill, where it's more technical, it's important. But another important things is about your soft skill. Your soft
mm,
skill means that's how do you for example, you need to have a communication skill.
mm.
If you want to go abroad, related to communication skill, you need to have ability for the foreign language. And then
Oh, yeah.
just not in the paper, you just not just writing competence for the foreign language, but you need to have communication verbally. Yeah. So
Mm,
so you can interact with the other engineer there, or
mm.
you can express your idea, you can express your work, or explain what's your idea to resolve if there is some problem, and you have some idea for the solution for that one. And
okay.
then yeah, I think aside of this kind of soft skill and hard skill, I think you need also prepare your life skill, because you are entering a new area that's it's really totally different with your home country. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, right.
Yes.
You go
We
first.
first, okay. I very interesting what you say, Mister, because this is a new, I think, new. like information for me because I very interesting about going abroad for study and work. I have
Mm.
one question is from me, not from my notebook, and I from purely from my brain, and I want to ask you, sir. And when you first time going abroad or working or study, and when you go to the airport, first time landing to airport, do you have a friend or some cousin and siblings to like with you, like first time you go to airport and you have like a friend or
I'm just
Uh,
alone.
alone.
no, actually. 2000 in 2000 is yeah, in 2002, that one is my first time being abroad. Yeah. Uh, at that time, this is my first time uh, went abroad, and then the first time taking a flight. Yeah. The first time takes a long flight, and
Oh,
I went to the country that English is not the main language. Yeah,
what country is that?
in France.
France.
Oh,
Yeah. So mm, I was from yeah. This is what I say, that you need to have a life skill, because uh, for example, it will be if you can prepare yourself to get more experience related to how to travel, and then navigations is quite important for you. Yeah, for the Muslim yeah, for the Muslim, navigation is quite important, especially for the men, because the men will show the directions. Yeah, but the navigation is it's simple, but it's really important for us when you want to travel abroad. Uh, at the time, there is no one send me off to the airport. I just took my train from Semarang to Jakarta, and then last time I got one friend, but because he's working, so he just sent me off to the airport and then go. So
oh,
because it's early morning, it's around 5 in the morning in Jakarta, and then goes to the airport because he need also he need to go to work, so he just dropped me in the airport. Then I wait around 8 hours, 10 hours, yeah, 8 to 10 hours before
Oh,
my flight to to Paris, to Charles de Gaulle Airport.
oh, long I think.
yeah, that's really long.
Really long and challenging.
Yes, and challenging.
Yeah, it's quite challenging. So if you have experience, I mean, if you have a chance, just if and you want to go travel work to another
Mhm.
country, I think it will be helpful for you to start to do some short travel by yourself. For example,
Oh,
from your boarding school to go home, you can ask your parents, don't pick me up, or don't, yeah, and I will go back by myself. Just take like a public transport, train,
yes, yeah.
or buses, or flight if it's far away. It
Mm.
will be change your experience, and it will give you bravery to take decisions during your travel.
Oh, yes. I
Okay.
actually, to be honest, I actually want to go home by myself
Yes.
after this, after in December. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use a train, KRL, and then I will
Mhm.
go to my house in Cikarang, and then my
Um,
parents will pick me up there.
maybe me
Yeah.
too. I have applying before. How lucky us! And I think that from very it's very important information for us because I very had a big dream for going abroad and have and getting some information like this about life skill, about soft skill and hard skill. It's very important for me. And
Mhm.
then maybe for Tigra too.
Yes,
And very good. I think I very interesting about this podcast.
yes.
Yeah.
It's actually very useful for me because, to be honest, I want to go to Japan. I want to work at Japan too. So do you have any uh some kind of tutorials to get work from abroad or something like that?
Yes, different tutorials.
Yeah, I think so it's quite a lot job vacant in Lincoln. Yeah,
Hmm?
you already, I think so, because you are from vocational school, you already get some skill and competence. You can start your LinkedIn account. You can create the accounts, but if you already create the accounts in Lincoln's, you can post your portfolio there. I mean,
Mm.
for example, if your school, if during your study you create some personal project or group project, you can create some article there in the Lincoln, so everyone can see your capabilities, and then this one can give. I mean, it will be your portfolio. So the
Mm.
user, it will be easier for you to identify your skill based on your portfolio, and it will increase your chance to get your job.
Mm.
And to let you know, at this moment in Japan, the number of the productive people is for the native Japanese is decreasing. So they are
Mm.
inviting foreign expertise, yeah,
Mm.
to work in Japan. I got
Ah,
some friends now working for uh, what is it? iPhone.
I- iPhone,
iPhone
Apple.
Apple. Yeah,
also.
he's work for Apple. He was my junior in the office,
Yes.
uh, and we also discuss quite often about the technical details for during the works, and until now we still keep in touch.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool
That's
Mm,
because for me, my dream is to work in Japan. You know, because I've seen Japan in televisions and YouTube's and something like that. I've seen that Japan looks very clean. It looks very simple. You know,
yes.
the
yeah,
scenery is amazing. So I really want to live there and then work or study there. You know.
Yes.
yeah.
I think it is a lucky day from for Zikra. And it's very I get it, I get some points from what he will talk about. I think the uh, let's say some benefits like
Benefits.
yes, words and achievement is very important for
Oh
us
yes.
as a
Yeah.
vocational high school for study abroad, I think. Then Mr. Wawan, I have a question. And do you have a suggestion, tips, or tricks for students want to work abroad like this? Besides getting some achievement and awards.
Yes.
Mm, yeah, I think the most important things is creating your portfolio. Yeah,
Creating
because
portfolio.
whenever you apply to for some job, yeah, for any job, you need to submit your CV or resume, right? In there, you need to state your portfolio, what you can do, yeah, what's your skill, what's your competence, and what's your experience. Gaining the experience, yeah, it's really important for you to get the job more easier, because as a user we don't want to hire someone that's only have your school certificate or with the plain activity. You don't have much experience to doing activity during your school day. I mean, you just not uh, come to school, come and sit, listen, and write. That's not enough at this moment, and then you already got the certificate. It's not enough at this moment. It will be more interesting as a user to hire you if you have a portfolio. For example, I
Mm.
have a, like as I said, I have a Cisco certificates, and then
Oh,
I already have
Mm.
interns. Yeah, I takes
oh,
the internship in such as company for 2 months, 3 months, 1 month. It's enough. will be easier for us to identify, oh, this guy is a really hard worker, or this guy is already have experience doing some job, like even just simple for network engineer, for example. You just doing the IP planning, for example. I just maintaining the server, or during your interns you are maintaining the server, or you did some IP planning. IP planning is a simple, but is a really huge value for us to hire. In the telecommunication, we also need this kind of job, yeah, like a transport engineer. They are, and the scope what they did is doing the IP planning, right?
Mhm.
Then yeah, IP planning, and then transport capacity planning, something like that. It will be easier for you. And then when you are when we do some study in the school, it's not just a matter of you learn something in the school, yeah, but you need to gain your what is it, working detail experience. If
Mhm.
Oh,
you just doing this on textbook, textbook,
Mhm.
yeah, textbook,
Mhm.
it will be I mean, is not ready to work. What I can say,
oh,
you cannot when you join, we need to train you through month, 3 months,
oh,
yeah, and before you can handle the work. But if you have the basic knowledge, or you already have the experience, it will be um, great
oh,
for us to assign you directly, or to assist you directly. It will be uh, what can I say? It will be more excited for the hire. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's very,
Okay, so yeah,
it's very,
it's very amazing. I
very
mean,
amazing.
very. It's
Mm,
actually very useful for me. I mean,
okay.
we need to know our future. When where are we going or something like that.
Yes, I
So
stand when I hear it, but it's very, it's cool, man.
yes, this is
And
amazing. So are you going to ask?
yes,
Okay.
I want to send you some question. And uh, sorry, do you think a student need a big budget so they can be hired by a big company? I think
Uh,
as a student, we didn't have not too much some budget for
Yes.
doing something like that. I think,
Mhm.
do you think the student must have big budget or not, or hired by big company?
what you mean? You mean the salary or your own budget to learn?
On our own budget
Yes.
for going abroad.
Yeah. For going abroad, there is a kind of the benefit. Yeah, it
Mhm.
depend on the higher company. Yeah. For example, what you need when you want to work abroad, first is about your taxes, and it's first is about your visa, whether they can sponsor you as a visa, or the yeah, uh, like a working permit. Yeah,
Mhm.
working permit is a quite high cost in some country. For
Yeah.
example, in Singapore is around, I forgot. It's around 20 or 30, sorry, it's around 30 million rupiah or 40 million rupiah. That's for
Oh,
work permit. Yeah. But some company they can proceed for you, yeah, in advance, and then you will pay when you they will deduct this cost of for working permits for visa from
Mhm.
your first day, sorry, from your first salary. Sometimes they
mhm.
can provide this kind of benefit, but some company they ask you to proceed by yourself. You need to go to the embassy, Singapore embassy in Indonesia, and then apply, and you will pay for this working permit. In some country, working permit is quite take a lot of money for this one in advance.
Yes.
But what I can say, if you really capable about the job, if you
Mhm.
really capable your skill and your competence, and the user really want you because you are special, normally they will take this scope from their part. I can say that's okay. I want to hire you, and then for the working permit, we can proceed for this one. So you don't need some money to spend in advance for working
Oh,
permit. That's one thing. And then the second thing's cost. The first cost is about the flight. Some
Mm,
company, some hire, sometimes they give you flight. Yeah, you
mm,
can. They give you. They can cover your flight, first flight, and then some company they also offer you once a year flight to home country.
mm,
mm,
Yeah, if you can get this one, then it will be great. But uh, if not, then you need to provide your flight ticket for this one.
mm,
And then
yes. Look,
another things is about the accommodation. First, the accommodations you also need to prepare for this one.
mm,
It depends on your preference. I want to have like a studio apartments, or I can share my accommodation with the other engineer and the other people. Then it will be uh, affect your advance cost for the
mm,
being approved. But what you need to prepare is at least one the cost for the living cost for a month, because you will get a paid for your salary 1 month later. So you need to have at least 1 month living cost in yourself before
oh,
you when approved.
okay. Wow.
oh, okay. Okay. So, I have some more questions actually.
Yes.
That was very, very useful. That was very, very amazing. It's actually pretty surprising for me,
Yes.
surprising for me to know that.
Me too.
But we talk a lot about abroad right now. But I
Mm.
have one question: is it really that worth it to go abroad? That's my question.
It's depend. It's depend
Mm,
what's your expectations. I mean, like if you want, it's really worth it when you get a job in like in Saudi Arabia, for example, in Medina or Mecca or Jeddah. It will be give you a lot of benefit. As a Muslim,
mm,
you is really a dream to can come to Masjidil Harams and
mm,
to take some pray in Nabawi, or
Yeah.
to learn more about the Islam there. It will be huge benefit for you. And what I can say is whether is it worth it or not worth it being abroad, it's depend on you. Someone
mm,
moving to another country or take a jump job to another country, there is a pro and cons. Uh, we can say that hijrah, the hijrah principle. Yeah, in
ah,
Islam we have a hijrah. In
Mm.
hijrah, whenever it bring you benefits, uh, I mean, the hijrah must bring you benefit. Okay, it can be gains your spiritual level, and it can be I mean, it can bring your a better life. Yeah, it
mm,
will. We can say that it will be good hijrah, for example. But
mm,
if you move to another country but you just think about the money and gains profit about the money itself, then you will lose some points, for example, for this one.
mm,
So what I can suggest is the benefit is not just the money. It can be anything. I mean, it can be intangibles. Yeah, can be, for example, oh, I can, for example, if you move to Saudi Arabia, I can goes to Masjidil Haram. I can do Umrah or even Hajj. Yeah, you can do Hajj there. That's
mm,
one is intangible, right? It's not payless. I mean, it's not can be count by money, but you can get this kind of experience.
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
okay.
I can get some point about this conversation is about like we need some spiritual skills again.
Yeah.
Spiritual skills, life skills, soft skill, hard skill is very important.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
but
now,
if
right?
you did move to another country and make your life is worse, then
Mhm.
it doesn't worth it. For example, when you move to another country and then you lost a chance to go to your responsibility as Muslim, and then you lost your control, and you sometimes people they not control the their self related to the as a Muslim. It will be we need to follow our responsibility, right? But
Yes.
somehow some people they lost their control here because the environment it will be different. Of course, if non-Muslim country it will be different, but if you have something to stand on, I mean something that's you really have a foundation or principle, you can lose
Mhm.
this kind of principle, or you will get another life that's camouflage. You are happy, but your soul is not happy.
Okay.
Mhm.
Saying that that is very it's like a bad the timeline. I think if we go to the abroad when we going worse or going better, like
Yes.
it's our choosing. As it's bad, it's a hard. I think very
So
challenging.
it might be good, but it might be bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we still have to hold our spirit, our Islamic spirit. So
Yes,
we need to still do our prayers and not do some haram things. Some
yeah,
forbidden things.
yes. For anything,
Yeah.
I think
So I think let's get to the comments. There are some questions from the comments.
yes, Mister.
So let's read them. Hello, Mr. Agus. Can you tell us how you apply job to a big company like your current job at Nokia?
uh actually, for so I just give you some tips when you finding a job. I think now it's much more better compared to 17 years ago. In 17
Mm.
years ago, we just go uh, to street and then buy some newspaper, and there is a lot of vacant last
Oh,
time. But now this day it's much better compared uh, 10 years ago or 17 years ago. There is some website that provides some vacant. For example, JobStreet or LinkedIn. It's really in LinkedIn. It's I think it's quite recommended because whenever you already put your profile, if there is a headhunter, they already directly contact you. I want to hire something. I want to offer you some vacant in this one. In this one, it will be easier. I think you can take some website that's providing the job offline.
Mhm.
It's
hmm.
much more easier at this moment. Or
Okay,
you
I
can
have.
join some groups
Oh
like
yeah.
network engineering mailing list or groups. I think it's already quite a lot, right? Whether
Yes.
LinkedIn or Facebook or another web provider for this kind of job.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. Community.
Okay.
Yeah, community.
I have one question before we go to the next comment. Wait, one more question. uh, how long does it take to get a job when you just apply your portfolio or apply for a job in LinkedIn or something like that?
Yes.
How long does it take for
Uh,
someone to invite you like that? Yeah, sorry.
at that time, I got the information from the community at that time when I takes from Taiwan. It just takes not less than 1 month to get a
Mm,
reply and proceed this the hiring procedure. Right? It's not
mm,
so much, but whenever you have, I mean, if you state available, I mean. Available or not available. For example, that you already work for some company and then you apply to another job, yeah, but you need to bear in mind that it will be better to have to spare 1 month before your application. So yeah, if you are vacant, then it will be easier for you. Anytime you can join. But
Yeah.
normally, when the project is really rush, it can be less than 1 month.
Yes.
So it's not that
So
it won't take that long of time. Yeah.
okay, I think I have one more question for
Okay.
me because I very interesting. I like this conversation because my question is like, do you have some motivation for a student who want to work or study abroad?
Yeah. Uh, for you, I think actually related to the job, you can take. I think anywhere is okay. Okay, but
Mm.
if you can have a chance to go abroad for your job, you must uh, you must prepare yourself. So uh, being uh, being a worker outside the country, it will be really tough. If more tough compare working inside the country, because there outside the country you will, for example, first, there is only small community there for Indonesian community, and it will be small. And then the culture, it will be totally different. For example,
Yes.
Mm.
when you work in Japan or Korea, for example, their working style is more serious, and then they working really hard, and sometimes they work overtime. Yeah,
Yes.
Mm.
our time there, and then the environments, it's might be different compared working inside the country. I mean, say in Indonesia. But at least whenever you want to go abroad for works, you need to prepare yourself. Yeah.
Mm.
And one more thing, it's about the intercultural learning. Intercultural learning is also really important for you when you work outside, I mean, abroad. What
Mm.
I can say is another country has a different culture compared to Indonesia, right? So
Yes.
sometimes it's really opposite with the one that we have in Indonesia, or sometimes it's what can I say? Is is strange for us, something like
Yes.
that. So how we react with this one, how we react with their culture, and then how we means understanding their culture, and then what we can do, what we cannot do. It will be really important when you work abroad.
Yes.
So the main thing about this thing is that we need preparation. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Preparation and knowledge. Okay.
All right. So let's get to the next comment
Let's come back.
from Baby Saputra. Hi, Mr. Agus. Can you show us about getting information internship program at abroad? Many thanks.
Okay. For the interns, yeah, for the interns, I think you can directly. For the interns, it's a bit difficult to find the interns vacancies for this one. But I would suggest you can directly apply to the certain company. For example, I want to interns in Google. I want to insert in Cisco Indonesia or Google Indonesia, or I want to interns in Tokopedia or Traveloka or another IT company. It will be easier for you as a student. Yeah,
Oh.
that
Mm.
one is your privilege as a student. Yeah, but
Mm.
if you already graduate, it will be difficult for you to get interns. You get
Mm.
what I mean. Whenever you have whenever your title is students, yeah, or yeah, college students, yeah,
Yeah.
it will be easier for you to get interns program. Yeah,
Mm.
but
Mm.
if you already graduate, yeah, it will be difficult for you to get the intern's chance, because if you already graduate, you will, I think it will be more applying the job, right?
Mm.
Oh.
But if you get the interns, as a student, the chance to get internship, it will be bigger. But having the chance to increase your chance to get interns, what can I say? You need to prepare your portfolio. For example, you want to have like in Google, interns in Google's Indonesia, for example.
Yes.
I already learned about the cloud. I will, if you if you have experience about the web services or the data science or artificial intelligence or any things about the data analytics, something like that, it will be quite interesting for Google's to, oh, this guy doing interns here, it will be helpful for us to to help our daily work, something like that. And it's a win-win solutions. For example, for the network engineer, you want to get interns in Nokia. We have a like a transport engineer, for example. Here
Mm,
you can do some IP planning, for example, or the transport performance monitoring, something like that. Then it will be easier. Oh, you already know about the IP. You already got the CCIP, even the CCIP certificate. You already got. You not just only CCNA. Then it will be quite interesting for the company to give you chance to get internship program. And
mm,
there is a, I don't know whether this is applicable for the vocational school, but if you goes to some university later on, goes to the like a university student, you can access like an IESEC. IESEC is a like uh, what can I say? Is a non-profit organizations. Yeah, you
Oh,
can, they give you a lot of chance for the internship, including the interns for the teaching, yeah, teaching internship or your professional skill internship. But if
mm,
you can search about the AESEC, then you can get more detail for this one.
okay.
Mm,
okay.
Wow.
mm,
So thank you for answering the question. That was a very nice answer, to be honest. So because because time is running out, we only
Yes.
have 2 minutes left. So I think that can be all for today.
Yes.
That will be the end for today's podcast or today's English talk. But before we end this, what do you call it? English talk. Before we
Yes.
end this English talk, we have a winner for the best question.
mm.
So because there are, uh, sorry, let's see,
Two.
there are only
Two
two
questions.
questioners. So uh, the account that is the account name that is called
Banana.
Bananaf, and the second one is Baby Saput. For the two winners, you can put your phone numbers in the comment, and the admin will give you a prize.
Yes. Little price.
Yes, a little prize, or maybe a big prize. No one
Maybe.
knows, you know. So, yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you, Mr. Owan, for joining us today and hanging out with us until the end.
Yes.
Thank you, Mister.
You're welcome.
Yes. And thank you for the viewers who were watching us from the start until the end. And thank you for all the viewers, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah, I hope we can make your day a little bit better. Thank you, Mr. Agus, and thank you for all the viewers. So, thank you for watching, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.